Hey everybody, it is Lorelia. I believe that I am live now, doing a video on the PPP second round of funding. Now, if you were, oh, wait. Of course, this always happens. Okay, I'm back. So like I was saying, if you are on my communication list, you should have gotten a communication from me for you to be able to get the lending. I sent out a text and I sent out several emails letting you know that now you can go directly to the lender. So you will be bypassing myself and going straight to the lender. For those who, want to be in control of their own process. And so you will be dealing with the lender. You will not be dealing with me. So make sure you are on my communication list if you are interested in the PPP second round of the SBA funding. Now, understand this is not it's not a consultation. It's not help with, how to put the application together, which is why I am doing this video today to kind of show you how or how to get around um, the the PPP process for those who may have questions. So at this point, you should be seeing my screen. And I've did several videos about this, so you know how it goes. If you want questions, you want to go to the source. Don't even take my word for it. You be your own person to get the answers to the questions that you know. So this is the Treasury.gov website. This is your go-to place for you to find out anything that you want to know about the PPP SBA federal funding. And you click right here, COVID-19, small businesses seeking the funding, the red bar, and voila, there you go. Everything is here that you want to know. Now, I did several videos on this. So if you've looked at any of my businesses and my videos in the past, I went through pretty much all the updates that have been happening regarding the funding. So the most important updates that you want to look at is, of course, the ones that are noted with June, because at this point, we are in June. As I filmed this video, this is June the 19th, 2020. So you want to go on this document and you want to look at anything that is referring to the PPP loan and anything that you want to know. So here you have SBA Paycheck Protection Program Loan Report Round 2, June 14th, 2020. And this is pretty much a PowerPoint presentation that has been put together by the SBA, going through approvals, talking about the summary of lending, how many assets lenders are given. Now understand the relationship between the PPP and the EIDL. Now the EIDL is a grant that you can go right through the SBA portal to be able to get the funding. You go straight to the SBA. Understand the difference. PPP is a loan that can be forgiven. In this video, I'm not going to go over it. If you look at my videos in the past, I go through all the stipulations on what makes the loan forgiven. With PPP, you don't have the ability to go directly to the SBA funding site. That is why you have to deal with an approved lender. Me, myself, I work with approved lenders. So that's why I said you have the opportunity to bypass me. I submit your information, you go direct to the lender, they will be in communication with you. Now, understand, it is direct to lender. But for any reason, you say, Lorelia, I have questions, I need help. Understand you are now entering, if that is something you want to exercise, you are now entering in what is called a consulting relationship. A lot of people do not understand the difference between going to get lending and the consulting relationship. For those people who just want to get the lending, they don't want nobody to lead them, they don't want help, they want to navigate the lending stratosphere by themselves, then you can go direct to lender. I have that opportunity for people. But for people who say, nah, I want a little hand holding, I want to, I want somebody who has their eyes and ears on the pulse to be able to be my mouthpiece, to advocate for me, that's where the consulting relationship comes into. And that's the same thing with the PPP. If you just want to go direct to the lender, you, by all means, you have that opportunity. Like I said, you get in touch with me, Lorelia, I give you the link. I send you the link. You add your information in, voila, it goes to the lender. Now you are communicating with them. So that's why I'm going over this video. So for those who want to navigate the space by themselves, here it is. So like I said, if you want to just know what's going on with the PPP in terms of the lenders, in terms of who's getting money, how many people are getting money, pretty much it goes into lenders with 1 billion assets or less, how many banks, how many regular lending companies, how many credit unions, fintechs, farm credit lenders, savings and loans, certified development companies, the list goes on and on. It breaks it down into state territories, what state got X amount of dollars, loan size, or what have you. So here are the top PPP lenders. If you've seen any of my videos in the past where I talk about top tier banks, as you can see, first top tier, first 10 banks that's here on this top PPP lender sheet are part of the top lenders who extend credit for personal credit and business credit. JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. There you have it. So there you go. So one may ask, well, Lorelia, do I have to deal with a major bank? It's really up to you. It's up to you. I have lending relationships with a few banking partners, but if you have a business relationship with your business bank, you want to go through them. Anyone who's been through this process, they know that these banks are not holding your hand. Lenders are not holding your hands. One thing that I have to say, I like working with business owners who are mature. And when I say mature, I don't mean mature in age. I mean mature in business. Because if you're a business owner and you are truly generating revenue for your business, you are in your business on a daily basis, you don't have time to watch every video on YouTube trying to figure out how to navigate the lending space. So I don't think, I realize that when people reach out to me, their maturity in business is not there. And what happens is that I can always tell where a person is maturity-wise in business when it comes to getting access to funding or business credit. Normally, when a person is new to getting lending, they start getting those net 30 accounts done in Bradstreet, and they're new. They're new with lending, they're new with funding, and so they start there. As you get older in age in terms of your business, You're now generating revenue. You're talking to banks. You're talking to lenders. You soon learn that all that stuff in the past that you may have learned about the trade lines and the vendor, the vendor, trade lines and Dun and Bradstreet, you realize that it's all a farce. Like don't get me wrong. There are some businesses who truly can use those vendors, but 80% of business owners, especially if you have a service-based business, you probably don't need it. So with that being said, some other stuff you may want to look at, primarily for borrowers, you want to look at the borrower application form. I personally would say look at the most recent one. There's two. Now this right here may not be the one that the lender gives you. A lot of lenders have customized their own, but the questions are the same. But if you get familiar with the questions here, once you go through the lender's questions, they should mirror the same thing. So it's good. You want to go through here. You definitely want to read anything that has to do with authorization, certifications. Remember, borrower application form revised June 12th, 2020. The list goes on and on. Instructions for completing this form. Understand things like all parties listed below are considered owners of the applicant as defined. They go in here and they talk about the different types of entities. You want to pay attention there. Now, of course, this is for the person who says, hey, I want to navigate the lending space myself. I don't want nobody to hold my hand. I'm going to spend all day on YouTube trying to figure stuff out. So there you have it. Of course, you want to look at the loan forgiveness application, easy instructions. This is primarily good for those people who say, I am a business owner and I don't have employees. There are a lot of business owners who have been saying that. How do I navigate this space? And how do I get the lending? And I don't have employees. I don't, So what I've always told people is that the lending was always created. A lot of people think that the PPP was only for those people who had employees, but it was for the person who didn't have employees. It was just that it wasn't really clearly defined. And so you really had to go through the information. So now they're making it much easier. As long as you can read and you have your comprehension, is up to par. You should be able to go through this information to get all the answers that you want. And then, of course, the loan forgiveness application easy form. I would look at this if I was someone who was looking for funding and was going to navigate this space myself. And then, of course, the loan forgiveness application. So all that stuff that's, anything for the borrowers, I would soak that information up and go through it as much as I can. Instructions for the PPP loan forgiveness calculation form. I mean, I would look at all this. This document is 7 pages, so it's not a lot of information to read. It goes into right here the calculation. Many people have asked on the internet, how do I calculate? What is the calculation? Now, I've did videos on this before, but look, you have the ability to run your numbers yourself. So understand, I mean, everything is being laid out for you in this second round. I mean, in terms of any questions about if you qualify, if you don't qualify, employees or no employees, sole proprietors, freelancers, those who have corporations, those who have partnerships. How do I calculate my salary? Do I need to use the long form? Do I need to use the easy form? Will my lender even take this form? It's not about will the lender accept this application, but it's to get familiar, for you to get familiar with the form. So you don't look like a deer in headlights. Because if anybody has been going through the process, you know that there's no help. Lenders are not giving you help. And I've said this so many times in consultations where people who've truly been through any type of lending process, they know lenders aren't talking to you. They not giving you no game. They ain't educating you. They ain't teaching you nothing. They ain't telling you nothing. And so you pretty much left on your own. And so that is why I do these videos, because unfortunately, some people want to go through it and do it themselves. And for those who want to, there you go. That's why I have these. Of course, if you want to check out information for the lenders, soak as much information as you want, because nobody, I always say, the joke is never on you if you are a student of getting information to be able to implement. You know, the joke is on the person who plays victim, like, oh, woe is me. Oh, woe is me. I did not know. I don't know how to get access. The list, data. Now, the one thing I really want to point out, because I also said that this video is the second round of the PPP loans, but I also want to talk about the economic injury disaster loans, the EIDL loans. Like I said, if that's something you're interested in, you can go directly through the SBA site. You go right here, apply for COVID-19 economic injury disaster loan. There you have it. This, my friend, is the grant that you can go directly through with the SBA. The PPP, on the other hand, you cannot go directly to the SBA. So here are the questions. You choose one that fits your scenario. If I was you, I would definitely be very, I would be very honest with a lot of my answers. I noticed that they have changed some things. Like one, they said applicant, now this is a new one that wasn't here before. Applicant does not present live performances of a prurient sexual nature or derive directly or indirectly more than de minimis gross revenue through the sale of products or services or the presentation of any depictions or displays of prurient sexual nature. Now, if you're an adult, you kind of know what they mean by that. So there's a lot of things that they've added that wasn't on here before. Of course, nothing illegal. Child support can't be behind, delinquent more than 60 days. So I would just be honest with this. The EIDL, like I said, you could go directly through the SBA site. So once again, this is Lorelia. I hope this has been helpful. If you are interested, get your second round of funding. You have to June 30th. Make sure you contact me. You can email me at loreliabp@gmail.com. I will also have a link below this video where you can, like I said, directly submit your information. I'll send it over to the lender. They'll be in communication with you. That's it. No need for us to talk on the phone. No need for me to ask you any questions. Get your funding in. You have to June 30th. Don't miss out on the second round of funding. You don't know if it's going to come back. You don't know if they're going to do a third round. Get it while the stove is hot. Don't miss out. Please don't be one of those people on social media talking about, I ain't get my funding. And no funding was left for me. They ain't give me my funding. They look out for the small business owners. This is your chance. Get in touch with me. And let's get you funded. Okay, this is Lorelia, and I'm signing off.